What's up, YouTube? It's the Vintage Cube Chef back with our fifth draft of Lorwyn Eclipsed. We've been having a lot of fun so far, and we've been hard at work testing our thesis that committing early to a tribe and just forcing it for the whole draft is the best way to consistently win in Lorwyn. So far, it's been working out, so we're going to keep rolling with it and jump right in. Here we go. All right, pack one, pick one. We have a couple pretty good choices. Adept Water Shaper is kind of a crazy rare. All your tapped creatures have indestructible other than this one. Makes it so you can kind of just swing with impunity and they can block. It just doesn't matter. Uh, no other merfolk in the pack that are really relevant. I don't think Wandervine Distractor is particularly good. And so I do like the fact that it's kind of signaling that merfolk is closed. There is also an Eclipsed Elf, and this card has a super high win rate for a good reason. It fixes your mana, it finds you your bombs, it does all the things. But we've already played Elves, and I haven't played Merfolk yet, and I want hard commit to a tribe. I think taking the rare here is perfectly acceptable, and so that's what I'm going to do. Moonlit Lamenter is also quite decent. It comes down as a 3 mana 1/4, but it's not a Merfolk, and therefore it's a lot less important to me. And we'll just slam into Merfolks, and nobody's getting me out of it. Well, now we're really not getting out of it. We're getting past the Merfolk rare. Deepway Navigator is a 2 mana 2/2. When it enters, untap all your Merfolk, and if you attack with three or more Merfolk this turn, all your Merfolk get +1/+0. So it's not quite a Lord, but it does untap everything. Kind of doesn't synergize with the Adept Water Shaper, except for the fact that a lot of the Merfolk have abilities that tap and care about tapping. So being able to untap them is pretty relevant because then you can just tap them all again, and it's so cheap that it's really easy to do. So we'll take Merfolk Rare into Merfolk Rare and not be too upset about it. Into a pack with not a single Merfolk in it, which is quite sad. Honestly, this pack doesn't have a lot in it. It has Virulent Emissary, the green elf assassin 1-drop that's quite good. Vile Boggart is quite important to the Goblin decks. Assert Perfection is one of the highest win rate cards at common in the whole set, as it's just a perfect removal spell in green for everything it wants to be doing. I really don't like Wild Unraveling as a counterspell. I think it's quite weak. I think Appeal to Erdu is also quite weak, so that's unfortunate. I think we're going to continue with our game plan of just saying Merfolk are cut off. I could take the Merfolk Matters land. Merfolk do use their mana quite a lot, but I think Wild Unraveling is acceptable possibly. I just don't want to play it. Alright, now this is a much more Merfolky pack. Swat Away is a 2-drop that says essentially put a subtlety a thing. Put it on top or bottom. They get to choose if it goes on top or bottom. But it only costs blue if something's attacking you. So if they cast a spell during combat, or if you're targeting a creature that's tapped and attacking. Temporal Cleansing is also very strong, very tappy. It taps all your creatures, and then you play like Deepway Navigator, and you untap all your creatures, and then you attack with them. And River's Guard Reflex is also quite good. Been really impressed with Swat Away, though. So that's what I'm going to take. Unwelcome Sprite is not a Merfolk. We're seeing actually very few Merfolk. Gravegill Scoundrel is a Merfolk. And although Unwelcome Sprite isn't, I already have 3 flash things, and this card just runs away with a game when you're just casting all flash things. So it's not a Merfolk per se, but it definitely goes in the Merfolk deck, and I'm pretty happy about it. We're just turning off the brain. I would say this is a signals red's open, and I just don't care. Someone else can go be elementals or goblins. We are hard committing to Merfolk. You will not play a Merfolk deck in my pod. Get away with it. 4 mana 3/4 Changeling of Reach, whatever. The Kinblade Aspirant as the 1-drop for the Kithkin deck is absurd. I cannot believe this is still in the pack. Nobody's in Kithkin apparently. Won't be me though. I am hard committing to Merfolk, and we've passed way too good Kithkin things. I would actually very likely say that the person we're passing to is in Kithkin, or maybe Elves, and I don't want to start trying to deal with that. 2-drops are good, and Wanderbrine Preacher is fine. It's a Merfolk. Whenever it becomes tapped, you gain 2 life. Really quickly move your life total up high. Oh my goodness. Thoughtweth Imbuer. I've been going on the shtick about don't pivot, but if we had taken the Kithkin into the Kithkin here, we'd have already very strong deck. I just don't think it would be better then Deepway Navigator, Adept Water Speaker. This card's pretty good. As long as you have a fairy, it has flash. We already have one fairy. I don't really like aquatic defenses. I could take Evolving Wilds, but Illusion Spinners, when cast with instant speed, just feels unbeatable. Oh my goodness, that's a second Kinsblade Aspirant. Well, we're hard forcing Merfolk, and I'm turning off the brain. This is where me as a drafter hates doing this. Like, as a good drafter, I think this is wrong. But we are testing the theory that the best way to build your deck is to just hard commit to a tribe and not, pivot so that you get Roar Pack 2. And at this point, there's no way we would get anything for Kifkin Pack 2 because someone that we're passing to here isn't Kifkin. I think this Merfolk is super weak, and I know it's a Merfolk, but I just don't think people are taking it just at all. All right, 10th pick, not a card for us. I'll take the white card just to signal, the color is more closed. Same reason I'm going to take this blue card. I'm not going to really play either of these cards, but we're just hard committing to Merfolk. Deepway Navigator and Adept Water Shaper are really good reasons to be playing Merfolk. Deepway Navigator in particular requires you to have a bunch of Merfolk. Wheeling River's Guard Reflexes is a good sign. This card's really good. And that doesn't matter. This is the Goblin, but not really a Goblin card because it just ramps you and it's pretty great. But this Merfolk Soldier is great. It enters with 3/1/1 counters on it, and then whenever it becomes tapped and it has a counter on it, you just remove it. This is a great way to kind of just get on the board early. So it comes down as a 2/1, but then it attacks immediately as a 3/2, and then it attacks immediately as a 4/3. It just grows with each of your turns. And it doesn't actually have to attack. It just is when it taps. So if you have things that tap it, or tap otherwise, it's great. And then hopefully we'll wheel either Spiral into Stolitude or Run Away Together. Both are good in this deck. I doubt Changeling Wayfinder will wheel. But pretty happy to just take a Merfolk uncommon. Honestly, I've rated Merfolk really lowly. I have yet to see a Merfolk deck really be great in my games, and I've yet to build a Merfolk deck in paper or in our online drafts. So it's possible that I would actually argue it's possible Merfolk are the weakest tribe overall. All right, we're getting the Merfolk Lord here. Beginning of your end step, untap a Merfolk, and all your Merfolk have +1/+1. That's a pretty easy pickup for me. Ashling's great, but not for us. It, on the backside, only taps for spells of 4 or greater, which we currently have 3 of. Ashling really wants you to be in the elemental deck so that you just have a army of spells that if you get to play Ashling on turn 1, you untap with them and then immediately start casting 4-cost spells and winning the game. If you aren't familiar with how that rare works, it's a 2-mana 1/3 that enters and you discard and draw. And then on your first main phase the following turn, you flip it for 1 mana and make 2 mana. But you can only use that mana to cast spells that cost 4 or greater. But you already have 2 mana in play, so if you play an untapped land, you have a total of 4 mana to use for a 4-cost spell. Lofty Dreams is not really per se the best in our deck. Enchant creature, it gets +2/+2, it has flying. Kind of want to take Run Away Together as just good removal, but we don't actually have a ton of things with good ETBs. It's just an instant speed card. But you can use it as protection as well, which I quite like. I expected Assistance is also okay, and we could also just take another 2-drop in the Shield Bearer, but I think that's pretty weak. This is a pretty weak card. So all that said, I think I am going to take Lofty Dreams. It's just the strongest card. I don't think Runaway Together is very good in our deck right now. We could take Rooftop Preacher. I'm not very high on that card at all, so I would prefer not to. Hexing Squelcher, yeah, that's not our card at all. Mischievous Sneakling's pretty good. I like Stratosaur as much as the next guy, but it's not the bestest in our Merfolk since it's not a Merfolk and it's a little slow. Changeling Wayfinder is good, but we're not too worried about being able to cast our colors. And Sneakling is flashy and good. Changeling Wayfinder is something I want to bounce with like Run Away Together. I think the Flash Merfolk are super important, so that's what I'm going to take. Rhyme Speaker is another elemental card. It cares about the 4 or greater. I'm honestly feeling like we're getting all of the Merfolk things, and we just haven't opened any Merfolk things, which is pretty bad for us. And that's one of the issues with this strategy is if you just don't open well for your tribe, too bad. You lose. I honestly think I need to take a River's Guard Reflexes here. We need to be really proactive on the board, and right now we don't have any crazy cards for that. One or more tokens. We make no tokens. I think this is an easy Noggle to mind. I really like this card. I think it's quite strong. Just absolutely shut off something and turn it into a Noggle as well. It instantly kills anything with a -1/-1 counter on it, which is a lot of things potentially. It's weird. I think Rooftop Preacher might be the move here over a 2/2. No, actually, I just want Infinite Kithkin. Oh yeah, this is a Kithkin, not a Merfolk. Never mind. Yeah, I'll take Rooftop Preacher here. It's just another, uh, what's it called? It's another Merfolk. Rhyme Chill's really good, but in our deck, it never really gets better than it being 5 mana. But I think at 5 mana, this card's still fantastic. 5 mana, tap 2 creatures, put stun counters on both of them, draw a card, instant speed. Pretty crazy. Spell Snare or Run Away Together? Well, now Run Away Together is a lot better because we took a lot early game Merfolk that we're happy to recast. I don't want to play a Rooftop Preacher, but I'll take it. Second Run Away Together, sure. Stratosaur 12 pick. I mean, there's like 4 in this pack. And a second Wild Unraveling that I don't even want to play one of. Whoa! Curious Colossus and Champion of the Shoal. Curious Colossus is great, but this is the Merfolk, Behold the Merfolk card that we lost to in one of our games on our last draft. And this card is just absurd. 4 mana, 4/6, with the downside if you have to hold a Merfolk, which like every creature in our deck's a Merfolk, so it shouldn't be hard. And when it enters or becomes tap up to a target creature, put a stun counter on it. Just absurd. It requires removal. Oh, wow, we also have the Eclipsed Marrow here. I hope that wheels, since we've hard forced Merfolk. Curious Colossus shouldn't wheel, nor should Luminal hold, but the Merfolk card might. Yeah, this is just an absolutely ridiculous card, and I'm very happy about it. Cool, second Lord. Who needs removal? We're just gonna play infinite early creatures and kill people. I want the Lord really bad, and the risk of this not coming back is way too high. And I think it's bold to assume you can wheel it across the whole table, given how good it is. It just buffs all your Merfolk, and when you buff all your Merfolk, you tend to win the game. Okay, what's on the chopping block? Maybe Aquatic Defenses, although we're a very, board present deck, so that might actually make the deck. Shore Lurker is a little weak. Kithkeeper is not for us. Actually, I don't really know who that card is for. It's just too slow. We could take another Wandervine. I could take another River's Guard Reflexes and have that just be my removal. I feel like River's Guard Reflexes is unironically our removal spell. We just attack with the team. They have to block with something. No matter what they block, it feels like they're trading up, and then we River's Guard Reflexes it. So it's kind of like we took a creature out of combat to kill their creature. And that's pretty good to me. Spell Snare, no thanks. I will take a Spiral into Solitude here. I'm very happy to see a pick where we can take it. I think it's better than a third Runaway Together as a way to just shut down something that we don't want to deal with. We could have had 3 Kinsbale Aspirants. That's crazy. Someone's going to have an absolutely absurd Kithkin deck, and it's not us. Swat Away is fine. Just basically take their best thing and put it on top of their library and make them reset. Whenever this attacks, you can tap an untapped creature. If you do, this creature can't be blocked. Yeah, with our lords and our ability to pump things, that actually seems pretty decent. So we're gonna have some cuts here. I think it's Aquatic Defenses pretty easily. Ooh, Glamourmite's so good, but Blossom Bind is amazing. We have to take the removal here pretty happily, actually. I'm not upset about it. So for these Illusion Spinners, we have a couple Changelings / Fairies. I just don't think it's good enough in our deck, and I really don't want to be playing Rooftop Preachers if I don't have to. I will play the Unwelcome Sprite because the number of things we can cast on our opponent's turn is getting a little bit absurd. So number of cards with either Flash or Instant Speed are, oh my goodness, Dawn Blessed Pennant, Feisty Spikeling, Blossom Bind. I don't think this could be a Pennant deck when there's a Blossom Bind in the deck or in the pack. I think Blossom Bind is just so good. There's no way to sacrifice things, so it just is great. When it becomes tapped, draw a card, discard a card. Why is this a 3 mana 2/3? This card could have been so good if it was just slightly better statted. We'll take the blue card to just continue signaling. We're going to have one cut right now, and I think it's Stratosaur. We don't really need anything for the late game. All of our stuff is pretty low to the ground, so taking a turn off to land cycle seems terrible. What else has flash for this unwelcome sprite? My rare does mischievous sneakling, of course. I'm not playing spell snare. You can't make me. Double swat away and rhyme chill. So that's all of our instant speed stuff. So that's why we're playing a non-merfolk. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ways to trigger it. And if we're triggering it and filtering our draws, you know, give or take every other turn, I think we're going to win a lot of games. So that's our deck. We're going to cut one land here, and I'm going to double check that it is in fact a plains. It is. We just don't have a lot of white sources that we need. But playing 8 and 8 when you have 3 white blue rares does seem pretty good, actually. We have double swat away for double blue, though. Lofty Dreams has Convoke, so it being double blue is a lot less concerning. My real concern is I have 5 removal spells, essentially, that require me to have a creature on board. Blossom Mind does not care about them having a creature, nor does Swat Away. This is our removal package. And Rhyme Chill in a lot of ways does require a creature on board because it's a 7-drop. So we have to be getting on the board with permanents or our stuff will just not work. And we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2-drops. I say only. 8 is a lot of 2-drops. Do I just have another dumb 2-drop I can just put in? It's a creature. I can't put in Wild Unraveling Gosh, this card is so bad. Alright, well, this is the deck. I'm not the most excited about it, but who knows? Maybe this is what Merfolk need to go off. Champion of the Shoal is just going to win us some games, I hope. I do think I'm going to play 8 and 8 here, so I'll put our cards back where they belong. And we're going to try out Merfolk for the first time. A deck that I rate, personally, quite lowly, but I've seen other people have great success with. So maybe I'm just a hater. I think that's our 3 rares. All 3 are Merfolk rares. They're all pretty good. We have great removal and a very assertive, you know, kind of once we have a board established, kill you quickly deck. So that's what we're working with. Don't forget, if you haven't already and you've been enjoying this video, to subscribe, like, do all the things. Let's jump into the games. All right, game 1, we have a turn 2 unwelcome sprite into just a bunch of stuff. We have both of our colors. That's about all I can ask for. I'm going to play Island in case they're worried about Spell Snare. Maybe they'll play a less impactful 2-drop. And it's possible we're just going to start this game with Blossom Binding, whatever their 2-drop here is. Don't love this, but I think I'm going to just play the Merfolk gets bigger. And then my plan is to just Blossom Bind whatever they play here, so that it can attack. I'll let them have the 4 mana. Flame Braider, I'm very happy to just tap that down. Let's see. Do I want to use River's Guard Reflexes? Or would I rather... Yeah, I'm just gonna Blossom Bind this. Tap Enchanted Creature. Oh, they have something at instant speed. Good for them. They can do whatever they want with that. It could be Seer. Mischievous Sneakling, no! Ugh, well, I had to kill the flame, or I had to tap down the Flame Braider, so even if I attacked first, I wouldn't have River's Guard Reflexes to save it, because I have to deal with the Flame Braider. Can't put my one mana some counters. Oh, wow, they're just crazy. I respect it. I'm gonna play Unwelcome Sprite, and then when they attack into it, I'm going to block River's Guard Reflexes Surveil 2. Seems pretty good to me. Ooh, goodness gracious, that's many cards. Green, blue, black, red, 4 cards. Okay. Yeah. I do get to just eat your 5/4, but I think your 6 mana 3/3 flyer that drew 4 cards is going to win you your game. Can't run away together, anything. Oh, this is so bad. I get rid of Runaway Together. I keep Rhyme Chill. I have plays for next turn at least. I don't even know. That is just so broken. Okay, and then really obviously I have to tap double white for this 2-drop so that I can potentially put something on top of their library. Maybe the Great Forest Druid will go on top of their library. If we hadn't done this to Flame Braider and we'd done it to Great Forest Druid, then Shine Striker would have been able to cast off Flame Braider, so it doesn't even matter. I needed a second removal spell to slow this down on the play. Yeah, turn 2 Great Forest Druid, turn 3 Flame Braider, pretty good. See what they want to do. Assert Perfection. Gross. Past blockers. I'm gonna put this creature on the top or bottom of your library during combat. I assume they're putting it on the bottom, but it also means they have 1 less mana this turn because they used not it to attack. Or they didn't use it to cast the removal spell, which makes sense. Keep the blocker. I'm curious what's happening here. And Shine Striker is one of the highest win rate cards in the format. Uncommon. Oh my goodness. Good game. They draw 4 more cards. They make a copy of the 3/3. They kill my creature. And it just doesn't matter. Okay, nice elemental deck opponent. Little Teamer Vivid Elementals, as you should do for that. I don't know what we were supposed to have there other than a counterspell, which there's basically no good counterspells in this set, so sad. But we just had to not let them cast a Shine Striker, which once they cast it, it just felt pretty over. Game 2, here we go. 2-drop, 3-drop. I'm on the play. Sign me up. It's all commons, and they're not very impactful, but they're Merfolk. Don't love seeing Dawnblessed Pennant and naming Elf, I will say that. But I'll live. I'll gain my 2 life. I will attack first in case you have something tricky. Alright, Merfolk, and then I think I'm just going to try and remove or combat trick every other thing they play. Eclipsed Stealth is really annoying. I go to combat. Yes. I do think it's a River's Guard Reflexes. And then I still River's Guard Reflexes. Because now I can play land and hold up Sneakling. And then I'll just Blossom Bind this. I gain a life. I cast Sneakling. Island is great. Blossom Bind. Attack with everybody. I gain 2 life. I draw a discard. I get rid of Swat Away? I don't know. Swat Away, just putting a creature on top of their library, whatever they play, seems like the move, as opposed to just playing a flyer this turn. So what if they just play a really problematic creature here? And I'd rather just make them get rid of it. They can do a fight spell here. I don't care about that. Moonglaive Extractor. Moonglove Extractor. Oh. My goodness. Wow. That changes things, doesn't it? And now all my creatures have indestructible. Champion of the Shoal's crazy. I don't think I can get rid of that. I assume they have a removal spell here for the Water Shaper. Hopefully that's just most their turn. And if they want to attack and lose a life to draw a card, it's kind of fine with me. I want to top deck a MERFOLK. Not a MERFOLK. Well, I can't kill them. I can make them sack the Elm. So the reason I can't kill them here is to cast Champion of the Shoal, I have to Beholden exile a MERFOLK. So even though I could tap down the Gnarlback Elm, I lose one of my 2-drops, or 2 power creatures, and it's not lethal. What I can do is I can force them to chump block with the Elm, and to draw discard away this Plains for another Plains. They have to chump block, so they can't use it as a removal spell. And then I replay Champions of the Shoal, exiling the Sneakling, because if it goes back to my hand, you know, surprise-wise, I could tap. And I will not play my land. Okay, so reason to play the land. If they somehow board clear, I get back to Sneakling. On their end step, I can flash it in, and then they die. Not play the land. If Silver Gold Peddler lives, I can draw a discard and filter it away. I think it's more important when they're at 2 life that I can flash in this 2/2 if they remove the Champion of the Shoal and have one more block attacker. So like let's say right now they exile the 4/6. Okay, they gain a life. Assert Perfection. You are dead. Cool. MERFOLK off of the Champion of the Shoal. It did exactly what we said it was, which is it would just come down and win the game. Honestly, didn't really need it. Like any of our other MERFOLK Matters cards would have been great. Keep in mind, we have 2 Lords and the rare that flashes in, and we haven't seen any of those 3. They all would have been good in both of our games, so. I actually feel like this deck maybe has a little more hope than I gave it credit for. I don't know if it'll be as good as our Goblins deck, but hey, our rare, which is not really ideal on turn 2, but I'm still going to play it. I got nothing better to do. And then I'll play a Deft Water Shaper afterwards. Yeah, it just kind of is a 2/2 flash. Kind of a Lord. That's a way better turn 2 play. Yes, please. Because if they're going to sear it or whatever, that's fine with me. And then a Deft Water Shaper, if this is great, because they may think, oh, I'll just play a 3/2, and they trade. Or 4/2. Sure, you can do that. Your problem is I am the aggressor here. And this encumbered... What is this card? Regery? Regery? Literally no idea what that word means. I'm not even going to pretend like I do. Alright, Seer. Pretty good. We can... Whoa. Wow, we are getting aggressive. I respect it. Plains, I swing and make this a 4/3, which you can't block. And then pass, and Deepway Navigator untaps each other MERFOLK, so I'll be able to untap the Regery and have it be a 5/3 blocker for their 2/1 first striker. I flash this in. Oh, ain't this something? Them not doing anything is kind of suspicious. Do I Noggle the Gnarly Stompling? No. I'll try this. I'll have like 3 blockers. So no matter how they want to do this, I'll have something that can block the 4/2 if I need to. And then we go to my turn, to my box. How do you want to do this? Oh. I mean, if they have a combat trick, they have a combat trick. I think I'm okay with trading this down. I take 2 damage from it, but it gets a 4/2 off the board, and then I'm going to play a Peddler. 5/3, make a treasure. Yeah, that's fine. They could have done that with whatever 2-drop they play here anyway. Oh, another Stompling. Sure. I attack. I have River's Guard reflexes, so this is just free. This is where this card is kind of just a removal spell, it feels like. And then I'll play my Peddler, and that blocks the 2/1 very well. And I'm holding up River's Guard reflexes to untap Deepway Navigator. 5-drop for my Noggle of the Mind. Just play a big 5-drop, just something with no ETB, like the Elf that's a 4/4 that gives elves +2/+2 or whatever. I would love to Noggle that. Pummeler, sure, yeah. That's actually a 1/1. Did you know? Okay. It's a 1/1. Boop. Ooh, that's a good draw. My Merfolk are bigger, and I swing. Draw. Nope. River's Guard reflexes is better. And then no matter how they want to block, I'm River's Guard reflexing something here. And they don't block at all, I still get to River's Guard reflexes next turn. You can't escape the River's Guard reflexes. I'll untap the 3/4, it blocks better. You can't escape the River's Guard reflexes, because it untaps a creature. This card's so pushed. Rhyme Chill. You got me. When it becomes tapped, I draw a discard. I don't want to swat away. Thank you very much. Pass. I go to 7 and you die? I take 7 down to 7. Like, I could untap Deepway Navigator here, but if I just don't untap it, I use Riverguard's reflexes as a removal spell next turn, they lose. It's just a combat trick, it's 2 damage. I go to combat. You never were able to escape this card. It was gonna get you no matter when I used it. It's a removal spell that's also 2 damage for lethal. Alright, Merfolk. Maybe you have game. Maybe you have game. Alright, well this was the concern with this deck. Double island, no white source. This is actually why we put an extra planes in instead of doing the correct ratio. Gravegill into Silvergill Peddler off of any land, and then we just start draw discarding. Seems decent. I can discard away this Rhyme Chill. Is this the Vivid symbol? Yeah, it is. It shows you how many... Oh, this is a stun counter. Interesting. Actually, I think this is the Vivid symbol. It's just telling me stun counter. So this will fill in with the colors you have on board, so you know how much it will cost or how many times it will trigger. You know, Vivid does a bunch of different things. So usually it's Vivid X for the cards that matter like that, where it's like, do this thing, like deal damage equal to your Vivid, gain life equal to your Vivid, draw cards equal to your Vivid, all the basics. Alright, our opponent's really thinking about this one. I'm going to keep this. I don't love it, but 2-drop on the draw is pretty important. Keeping us alive, and it's a good 2-drop, right? 1/3, blocks all the 2/2s, 2/1s, 1/1s of the format, so if we're facing like an aggressive start here, it could help us a ton. Blossom Bind's not a bad draw, it's just a bad draw in the context of I really need a land more than anything else. We have 14 in the deck, so we get 3 shots at drawing our 14th land. We've missed the first 2, and the audio's messed up already for this stage. Okay. This stage is broken, and the audio is just bad. Changeling Wayfinder, I love seeing that. Imagine we draw planes right here, and I just play Deep Channel Duelist, and I get to attack for 2 Vigilance. Seems fantastic, right? Alright, Island's acceptable. Let's see if they want to bite. I could have so many flashy things. Aha! 1 free damage by just boldly doing it before combat. I'm risking nothing. They risk potentially a lot, right? And it doesn't even tell them that I don't have something, because why would I play something if it didn't help me? So it's like if I had a pump spell or a flashy merfolk that did something, why would I play it after combat for like one extra, or during combat for like one extra damage? I just take my one for free, and then tap a peddler, or play a peddler. Tweeze, that's pretty bad for me. Discard a different land than the one you got, and then draw a card. Yep. And then play the island you got, because clearly you're 3-color. Man, the audio being messed up just irks me every time I play on this board. Your one island terrifies me. Ugh. Deck. Alright, we'll do it again. Yep. Well, that was the risk of keeping this hand. We have a runaway together if we need to get rid of a problematic thing. But it's pretty bad. I don't want to run away together. They're Changeling Wayfinder, so that's pretty bad. If they play like a 5-drop here, I could just bounce our 2 things, because their 5-drop going back to hand is way more impactful for them than it is for me to rebounce Scoundrel. Although if we draw another blue source, we can play Lofty Dreams Convoking on this guy. That gives them 1 life, and it was their whole turn. Well, if I don't draw a land, I'm gonna want to run away together. So, okay, land is amazing. What do I do about it? Do I just get Lofty Dreams down? I feel like I do. And draw another land here. Champion of the Shoal. Let's go. I can imagine they just used Blossom Bind on this now. Hovel Hurler. That card's crazy. Can't have counters put on it, but it can still remove the counters to give 1-0 and flying. Very annoying. Feel like the answer is I still just play Champion of the Shoal. It's hard to imagine that's the wrong play. I could also play Deep Channel Duelist and Blossom Bind Hovel Hurler. Honestly, a lot of choices. This having Vigilance is so good. Yeah, let's develop the board here. Deep Channel Duelist. Get in for 4. I will not make it unblockable because this is as a sorcery and they don't have the mana for it anyway. I could also run away together this, which is really kind of just a funny play. I think I'm pretty happy with Blossom Binding it, and they'll get to remove these counters eventually for value, but it doesn't really matter to me that that's just now stuck as a eventually they get 2 charges out of this. It's very slow. It uses double red, which they clearly, aren't fully red. They're playing this as a double red giant warrior in a Vivid deck. It does give them white on the board for Vivid. That's a little scary. But once again, I feel like Champion of the Shoal is just going to come down and ruin their life, so next turn I can Rhyme Chill if we draw a land. That would actually be the most ideal. Looks like a fight spell. Giant Fall, sure. You got me. And I take 2 here, because I'm not blocking your 2/4 Vivid. Death Touch, no blocks. I could maybe have to play Champion of the Shoal here, because I'm worried about not hitting another Merfolk. But I think I'm just going to hold up Rhyme Chill. I'll go for 2. I have River's Guard Reflexes, Run Away together. I just have everything to protect it. I even have Swat Away if they just play something problematic. I want to just put it on top of their library instead. I untap my 2/2. Fear it. What you got? Sneakling? 4/2 reach? Nothing. Alright. Do your worst, opponent. I have every protection spell possible. We have the double package of Run Away Together River's Guard Reflexes. We have the single, essentially, counterspell, delayed counterspell of Swat Away. And we have a Rhyme Chill. I'm not I'm fine with just taking 2 here. I don't care. I'm not River's Guard reflexing here into fully open mana. If they do nothing, I'm just going to Rhyme Chill. Pummeler for hire. That has Ward 2. Put that back on top of your library. Land. Yeah. With a land, I think I attack for 2. Next. And then I'm going to Behold now, holding up both River's Guard reflexes and Runaway together. And I'm going to tap the Death Toucher down so it doesn't untap. I don't care about this 1/2 at all. And they can play the Giant, but now I can tap the Giant and do all the things when I attack with this. I'll pay the ward. They do get to gain 5 life when the Giant enters, which is kind of gross. Yep, that's fine. 1/3 when it dies, draw a card. Pass. Weird, but sure. Land is actually kind of great. We have no way to draw a discard anyway. Go to combat. Attack. I don't want you drawing a free card. Next. Do you have like some crazy flash combat trick thing here? This is sorcery speed. Jump block with the changing wayfinder to just gain 4 life. Sure. These things have to come off the board eventually. Alright. We're kind of playing a slow game, which I don't like in this format because you're just giving them time to find problematic cards that you can't deal with. Problem is, our hand is completely reactive. So if they do play problematic cards, I can protect my champions of the Shawl, I can buff it, I can untap it, I can tap their stuff down. I'm feeling very insulated from all that. And if they just play the Giant here and pass, I'm going to Rhyme Chill the Sentinel and the Luminolisk. Luminolisk? That's a cool name. You give it flying. Okay. It has Death Touch, so if you have a Bite spell, it works anyway. Assert Perfection. Well then, let's run away together. And then I get back my Champion of the Shawl. You just don't get that mana. Yeah. And then I'm just going to recast Champion of the Shawl, re-exiling the uncommon, tap down the 1/3 because this is already tapped down. Now I don't have a protection spell, but neither of the cards in their hand care about that. This gains them 6 life still. Luminolisk, sure. Gain 4 life. They have a lot of life gain. It's actually kind of annoying. Pass. My turn. Another land is bad. We already have 8 mana, so I can do all the things I want to do. I'm just going to attack, tap down the 2/4, hit them for 4. We have flooded to all heck here. They have 6 lands in play, having discarded 1. So they've seen 7 and 23, and we've seen 9 and 21. So we've drawn 2 extra cards, and they've both been lands, essentially. Okay, having another fight spell is very rude. I think I'm just going to Rhyme Chill here. I guess there's no point. Yeah, they finally kill the Champion of the Shawl off of their third removal spell for it. It's done a lot. It's helped us get this far, but we just keep drawing lands, and if that's going to continue, we're not going to win. Why does it still say I have blue? I might as well cast this now. River's Guard Reflexes will be our actual removal spell, but we need to draw a card. Adept Water Shaker. Ugh, it's so good. My turn. Now we're getting all the things. Alright, I play the Merfolk you know about. Play the Merfolk you don't. And then I have a Swat Away for the Giant again. So they don't gain the life, and they don't get the creature either. I untap this Merfolk. Problem is, when the Giant comes down, it will gain them 1, 2, 3, 4 life, which is pretty annoying. Oh no, it will gain them 6 life, because it's not based off of that. It's based off of greatest power among giants you control. Or toughness? Power. So they will gain 5 life. Ugh. Yeah, we're definitely swatting that away. Just tempo, tempo, tempo. Adept Water Shaper should do a lot for us. We draw the other Lord, we're in business. That doesn't matter at all. You can discard and draw. Okay, there's their 8th land, or 7th land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10. Yeah, 8th land, because they have one in the grave. Pass. My turn. Unwelcome Sprite, quite nice. My other tapped creatures have Indestructible, so the 2/2 will have Indestructible when it attacks here. Rhyme Chill of your own. I think I just have to let this happen. This game is slowed down to a crawl. Discarding a Fiendish Core, yeah, whatever. Well, at least those 2 creatures have Indestructible. And I will play a Sprite. And I'll get to start surveilling now. And this will get to start attempting to untap things, so now this will untap on my next untap step. This has Reach too. Gross. Yeah, I'm still planning to swat away the Giant when it comes down. It just gains too much life. And it slows them down a whole turn, because they have to put it on top, right? Obviously. It's the best card for them right now. Yep. I will let you do this first, because I don't want you redrawing it immediately. And then I'll do this. And now I get to Surveil 2. Run away together is great. As a protection and removal spell, essentially. Pass. I don't care about taking 2 here. Okay, I'll take 4. I want to hold up River's Guard Reflexes because it's how I eventually kill this reaching creature. I take 4. No blocks. My turn. I draw a run away together that I know is on top. I just get in for 2. And I pass. And then I untap this Merfolk. Yep. Yep. I gain 1,000,000 life again. Gosh, the life gain in this set is absurd, it feels like sometimes. I can only attack with the 2/4 here, which I'm just kind of fine with. I can't really bounce it because then they just gain the life again. Ooh, Spiral into Solitude. So good. I just attack for 2. And I want to River's Guard Reflexes this. I have Trample too. Vigilance. Okay. And then In that case, I guess I just do this and pay the ward and just keep it on the board. I don't really want to blight 1 to exile it. I have nothing I want to blight 1 on. Untap this Merfolk. Alright, we're chipping away. We need them to just start drawing lands here, and we're going to just hopefully just keep drawing gas because we've gone through so many lands. And if I get to cast something at instant speed here, I say get to, I could choose to, but there's nothing I really want to cast at instant speed here. Maybe River's Guard Reflexes is worth it to kill like the Lumiolisk, annoying card. I can like blight 1 onto my Duelist and then run away together the Duelist. I am at 9. That's a little scary. Pass. I will not surveil. Second River's Guard Reflexes goes crazy. Well, with double River's Guard Reflexes in hand, I feel relatively confident about just attacking with the team. Everything but the 4/5 has Indestructible. And I get to untap 2 things. I get to untap my whole board, actually. Because Deep Channel Duelist will untap something for me. No matter what. Block how you dare. There's also 4 burst damage. So they don't know it, but if they block nothing, they die. Which is pretty cool. Okay, I attempt to kill off your Death Toucher finally. Do you have a trick? Next. Take 2. In the air. I don't want to kill off the 1/3. It's not really doing much for them. And then I just end my turn and untap the Duelist. And then River's Guard Reflexes can even untap the Flyer. They could have blocked with the Reacher, but I was fine with them not doing that. My plan was to just use the other River's Guard Reflexes if that was what they wanted to do. I wonder what they didn't do that they are doing here. Could be a lot of things. Could be another Giant Fall, I guess. Seems wild that they didn't use it if that was what it was. What are we doing? You're tapping all the things. End Blaze Epiphany. Ew. Alright, well I have to run away together. And if I'm going to run away together, what do I want? Bounce of theirs. I guess it's the 3/2, right? You get nothing. No card draw. And then we have another River's Guard Reflexes if we need to protect something here. We can always blight 1 if we need to on this, if they try to do something cheeky. Like, save it. I would rather have a -1/-1 counter on my Adept Water Shaper than get back this Pummeler for higher for sure. Noggle Robber. Okay. You can have a treasure. Pass. My turn. Ooh. That's fun. I am Merfolk. Hear me roar. 5/6. I can make them trade off both halves of Noggle Robber and Flaring Cinder. They lose both pieces of it. Unwelcome Sprite has Indestructible while tapped here, but it loses it if Adept Water Shaper dies. So what they could do is they double block, and they're like, haha, I now get to block with the Reach creature, and then it dies in combat, but then comes back. Alright, well, if you're going to do it this way, I'm just going to kill everything of yours. And by everything, I mean everything but the thing that draws you a card. I do not want to kill that, thank you. You can have another treasure. It's not like you're short on mana. We are hellbent now. We have no more cards in hand, but the hope is that with double Duelist and a Water Shaper, we can finally get there this game. I don't know what more it would take. We're also still holding up Blighting 1 if we need to. I don't know. This game's been going on forever, it feels like. Neverland for them is a great draw for me. They're down to 15 cards in the library, and I'm down to 13. This is getting kind of crazy. I've drawn both Runaway Togethers, 2 Rivers Guard Reflexes. I think I have one more. Stratosaur. Deal 2 to me. Sure. Something game's flying. Yep. Can you attack here, really? You're 8. I attack with everything and you just, like, die, right? Oh my gosh, that card is stupid. Alright, we lose. This is an unbeatable rare. Literally unbeatable. You just lose the game when it's cast. Oh, I had the Blight one. It doesn't even matter. Look at this. It's game over. I just die in the air. Yep. Alright. Cool. You cast your instant win card. Awesome. Love this format sometimes. Alright. Well, that was a really long game. It kind of just didn't matter because eventually they found their I cast this spell and win the game card, and they cast it and they won the game. 2-2. Let's keep it rolling. Alright. Game 5. We're on the draw. We have a turn 2 Merfolk and double removal spell. I can work with this. Mulligan on the play with an island to start. Is it Elementals, Merfolk, or Vivid? Guess it could technically be Flash. It's Elementals! Good for you. We've drawn land. I feel like we've already lost this game in a way. We kept a 4-lander and drew land in our deck that basically doesn't have a top end. You know, really, like our most expensive thing is Rime Chill, which ideally is 5, possibly 4 if we have exactly Sneakling in play. If we draw one more land in the next, like, 4 turns, I'm pretty sure it's game over. Welcome to Modern Limited. Alright. Flaring Cinder. I don't like that card for me. I don't want that to sit on the board the whole game. So I will offer the trade. Just kidding, it's not a trade, it's just a kill spell. River's Guard Reflexes, as per usual, is remove target attacking creature from combat, kill all of its blockers. It does that. Feels like every time. That I'm pretty fine with Blossom Binding. 1 mana. The Nuisance. Well, I will Spiral into Solitude this, and Blossom Bind that. By the way, we drew a land, so I think we already lost this game. And attack. We have seen 7 lands in the top 11 in our 16 land deck. That means there's 9 lands in the 29 cards we haven't seen. Runaway Together. Yep, sure. Hey, Adept Water Shaper is a great draw. They get their 4/3 trample again. A lot of great cards we can draw. Rime Chill is up there with being pretty fantastic. Get a treasure. Stop! Deck! Play a land, say go. I don't want to trade their 4/3 for my 3/4, but it's just a terrible trade for me. So we've drawn 8 lands in the top 13. They've drawn 6 lands in the top 13, unless both of these are lands. Nope, it's one of the best cards in their deck, I guarantee you. They get a copy of my Adept Water Shaper. Okay. Now I can't block this. My turn. This format is so frustrating. This isn't actually about the format. I've just flooded, and therefore we have a 2-win deck. What are you gonna do? There was nothing we could have done this game. Like, we kept this hand, and that was the losing play, but it was a hand that you're supposed to keep every time. So, we just lose. No blocks. Take a number 4. Unless they have drawn just all lands as well. That's our only hope. And even then, they're ahead on the board. Nope, they draw their perfect top-end card. Ooh, the tilt is real with this format, man. Modern Magic, so frustrating. Oh, you drew like 1 or 2 extra lands in your opponent, you lose the game. Just instantly. You had no chance. Look at me, I have 5 mana up. I mean, they even hit a land on this. It just doesn't matter. They played a 6-drop, right? Just play another top-end thing. Get me out of this game. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't know. This is a really hard to assess if we... And yeah, I get to give everything trample. Cool. Everything has trample and indestructible. Okay. Why not? Use the treasure to make a red and then get 4 red. What does it do for you? Why? It already has trample. Unless you're casting a 7-drop here. If you're casting a 7 or an 8-drop here, I don't care. Okay. We're just doing this to style. I mean, I offer this trade. Because obviously I would. If we draw like Rhyme Show off the top, we're totally in business. Do you have a trick? It's the only reason this makes any sense at all. Is if you have another trick. Otherwise you just lost your Water Shaper. You're doing 10 damage to me. And everything has trample. Okay. I mean... Pass? My turn. Run away together. Okay. I do this. Everything has frickin' what's it called? Trample though. Yeah, they can give their whole board trample. And if I run away together, they just replay it and give the zealot trample. I just lose. Every way to 1,000,000. My only choice, I have to give them back the zealot and then replay my Water Saber. Whatever. I'll play a land. It's whatever, man. This could have been a good game, but imagine if we didn't draw land, irrelevant card, land as our first like 4 draws. Okay, whatever. I'm out. Whatever. Shake it off. Bad drafts happen. That's a little bit of a tilter, but it is what it is. All right, let's go to the deck. Let's go to the deck. Shake it off. We have more drafts to do. So, we hard forced MERFOLK. I think we ended up with a really decent MERFOLK deck. I think 2 of our games that we lost, I don't feel like there was a lot we could have done in those games. Our opponents just kind of had it all, or we drew really poorly, and it's just the nature of Modern Magic. And then the games that we won felt super convincing, right? So it's a little bit prescriptive of the format that games do feel that way a little bit, where you run into these games where you're just like, I don't know what I could have done differently in this game. Just the way my deck drew and the way their deck drew just felt Like there wasn't a lot of decisions that could have been made that would have changed the outcome of this game. It's like when we sat down to the table and drew our opening hands, that was just it was already made up. And that's a little depressing, a little pessimistic. Regardless, outside of that, I think the Merfolk deck worked fine. I think we ended up with a very good Merfolk deck, even though we didn't really open any of the Merfolk cards early. We just hard forced it off our first two picks, which I think were the first two picks I would have made regardless, right? I took the Adept Water Shaper into the Merfolk Matters rare, and then we just committed. What was apparent is that at our table, Kifkin was wide open, and we actively avoided Kifkin on picks that I think we probably could have taken Kifkin and maybe not played the Deepway Navigator and just played Adept Water Shaper, which is just a really good card in every deck, in the Kifkin deck, and it would have been fine. We could have had 2 or 3 copies of the 1 mana Kifkin that holds at uncommon. We could have had multiple copies of important Kifkin Matters cards. We even have some decent Kifkin Matters cards in our sideboard, and we're not even in Kifkin at all. We have one, I guess. Regardless, I think that as like the smart drafter was the right play. That said, in pack 2 and in pack 3, Kifkin was obviously super closed off. So I don't, or pack 2 especially. So I don't actually know if we had switched to Kifkin, pack 2 would have been pretty rough for us, and then pack 3 we would have gotten paid, but we wouldn't have known that. We would have had to hope that Kifkin got opened in pack 3, kind of with Merfolk, whereas we know we got the Merfolk stuff in pack 2. We got plenty of decent choices all throughout. So that's the set. I don't know how well this supports the theory. I think there's very strong argument that we could have switched to Kifkin and maybe it would have been a more assertive earlier to the board deck and we could have done better. But at the same time, I feel like the real reason that we're 2 and 3 here isn't so much that we were in Merfolk or that we forced it. I think it's a very solid deck. I think like a lot of games in this format, you sit down and just deck to deck and the way that the cards drew out there wasn't a lot of decision making. It was like I play my dude, you play your dude. I play my dude, you play your dude. Oh, I drew like 3 extra lands than you. I don't get to play a dude. You play another dude, and I'm so far behind so quickly, right? Like that elemental game we just played. Our opponent basically just curved out pretty normally, and so did we. And then we just stopped curving out because we hit lands, and they just kept curving out, and we lose. It was as simple as that. The cards win so fast that falling behind even slightly on a couple turns, you just don't have enough to get back into it. So that's how it went. I put our rares. We have one more rare, don't we? Yeah, Champion of the Shoal. This card's crazy. Put our rares on the right here so you can see it. This is our 5th draft of Lorwyn Eclipse for Arena officially, which means that if you've been in our Discord doing the thing, we will announce a winner for the deck predictions and it'll influence what happens in our 6th draft. So tune in for that. It's going to be really fun, really exciting. And I really appreciate you watching through to this point in the video. If you had fun, if you're interested in watching more Lorwyn Eclipse things or just limited things, that's all I really do on this channel. So I'd really appreciate if you subscribed, joined our Discord, did all the things. But more important than any of that, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks.